My parents still let me wear makeup because I still live under their roof.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, not letting an 18-year-old
Well, I
wear
mean,
makeup.
they have that authority over me.
Yeah, that's just a weird rule for an 18-year-old woman. Do you basically support Trump as president because they do?
Yeah, and because he's trying to keep bad people out of our country and stuff.
I mean, I'm actually going to treat this as a little bit of a learning opportunity. I think it's important to question things that maybe our parents imprint on us from like a very young age that they don't really give any good reason for us to find to be true. And when you do your own research, there isn't any good reason for it to be true either.
We don't like have any news stations in our house. They have like parental locks on my stuff and stuff. So, like I can't access certain news stations besides like Fox and stuff like that. That's the only news station I really have.
What's up? Are you MAGA?
Yeah,
Age, please.
I am 18.
What year were you born in?
2007, October 8th.
Okay. Do you promise?
Yeah.
Why do you support Trump?
Well, basically, my parents have taught me since I was younger that...
I'm sorry. I actually got to ask you a qualifying question here. Do you have a driver's license? I'm not going to ask
Yes.
this. Okay, you do. So if you're driving on a roadway and there is a yellow dotted line next to a solid yellow line and you're on the side of the solid yellow line, what does that mean for you?
That I stay in my lane and I don't pass.
Okay. Have you ever worked a job?
Yes, I work part-time at an apothecary.
Is there any reason, chat, that you could provide that I shouldn't believe the guess?
I don't wear makeup.
I think that you're cool. Unless anybody could give a reason for me to not believe you're 18, you're good. So go ahead.
My parents still let me wear makeup because I still live under their roof.
Oh, okay. That's kind of crazy. I mean, not letting an 18-year-old
Well, I
wear
mean-
makeup.
Well, I mean, it's because, like, I'm their kid and stuff, and they have that authority over me.
Yeah, that's just a weird rule for an 18-year-old woman.
Like, basically, they're like, because, like, God, like, made you in his image, and you don't need to, like, change yourself and stuff like that. Because, like, that's what they've, like, they let, like, my sister wear it and stuff, but that's only, like, at home. Like, we can't wear that, like, in, like, public and stuff.
Because you're made in God's image and you don't want to change your appearance. Don't clothes change your appearance?
I guess, yeah, but it doesn't change your skin.
So they don't let you buy like nice dresses or anything either?
Well, yeah, they do, but it's not, I guess it's not, like, on your skin. Like, putting stuff directly on your flesh.
I mean, when you wear a dress, it's directly on your flesh. So they don't like let you wear a costume to Halloween. It changes your appearance.
Well, they let me do that. Like, I can cosplay on YouTube and stuff because it's not, like, in public.
Well, interesting family dynamic. So I mean, do you basically support Trump as president because they do?
Yeah, and because he's trying to keep bad people out of our country and stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm actually going to treat this as a little bit of a learning opportunity because if I had a guess, I mean, I just think that, you've been indoctrinated into these beliefs by your parents and you haven't really been exposed to many other ones. So, I mean, Donald Trump isn't really doing anything to keep bad people out of the country. I mean, he's kind of a bad person that's running the country. He's a very bad person, Like maybe your parents are telling you about undocumented immigrants and they tell you they rape, they murder, they kill, they commit crimes, violent crimes too. Undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to do so compared to the average American citizen, and Donald Trump actually has. A court found him liable for raping a woman. He's boasted about sexual exploitation. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He kind of is that bad person.
They said that was fake. They said that was leftist propaganda.
I mean, sure, they're going to baselessly deny it, but it's just that it's baseless. You wouldn't be able to find any good reason why it's false, right? And like, I think it's important to question things that maybe our parents imprint on us from like a very young age that they don't really give any good reason for us to find to be true. And when you do your own research, there isn't any good reason for it to be true either.
I guess you would be correct in that and stuff, but like, isn't he like, getting like bad people like rapists and murderers that we don't have ID and stuff on them that are in our country and hurting people and stuff like girls and stuff like that. So he's trying to like get them out.
Well, he's actually deporting undocumented immigrants with those like violent crimes on their records at lower rates than the Biden-Harris administration did, because he's focusing on the deportation of every undocumented immigrant. Meanwhile, they disproportionately focused on the removal of just those with those violent crimes on their record. So the Democrats were actually doing a better job at that.
I didn't see anything on those because we don't like have any news stations in our house. They have like parental locks on my stuff and stuff. So, like, I can't access certain news stations besides like Fox and stuff like that. That's the only news station I really have. Like, I don't have like CNN or anything like that.
You are 18. You got any plans
Well, I
to move
still live
out?
under their roof. Like, until I have like my
are-
own house and stuff.
What are your plans to move out? What's that looking like?
Not much. They are talking about, like, my sister came and told me they might make me pay rent to live here. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because I'm an adult.
Interested in going to school, or like what does your future look like?
I've been homeschooled.
Well, yeah. What about like for the future? Like, do you plan on attending university, or just like, what
No,
kind of...
because they say it's not important. Because, like, what Charlie Kirk said and stuff on, you don't need to go to college and stuff like that. You, like, my mom says that she can educate me on her own so that I won't be exposed to queer stuff. But, like,
Are you serious?
I don't know. They don't want me exposed to that stuff.
Wait, like this is like serious?
Yeah, like, but like they say that it's their job as a parent and stuff like that. But like I've tried to tell my mom that I think I might like girls, but she said I probably just don't, and it's just because I don't really know any boys, and I just need to meet more people. And she said that that will go away. And my dad basically says that stuff's made up, even though like I do understand the science behind that stuff, so I know that that's kind of made up, but I think that maybe we shouldn't expose certain people to it and stuff because maybe it will cause confusion.
Okay. I don't even really know where to start. You know, I think I'm good at debating, but this isn't a debate. I mean, I think that this is much more. It's like, let me, I guess here's the way I'd word it. If I was president, if I was in some position of, you know, legislative authority, I would consider the way that your parents have raised you to be child abuse. So point number one, have you ever like done any research into like cults? Like seriously, like I remember when I was in high school reading about some cult where, you know, the leader got maybe like 30 people together and socially ostracized them, put them in a room, then they all unalived themselves on the same day to transcend into the next realm. Have you ever like heard a story about like, you know, historical cult in America, global stage?
I've heard like basic stories about cults and stuff, like people who don't believe in God that will like, you know, like sacrifice animals and stuff like that by like burning them. They'll draw pentagrams and stuff like that. That's what I know about cults.
Yeah.
And they all kind of like believe that what they're doing is right.
Well, like one foundational similarity between like all cults is an attempt to isolate the members of the cult from members that are from people that are not members of the cult. And the reason why they do that is because they know if they were not isolated, then they would probably leave the cult because they'd be able to determine that the cult is insane. And it kind of sounds like that's what your parents have done to you for a very long time, you know, like limiting your access to a lot of the internet, homeschooling you, even like suggesting to you that your mother can educate you through what would be synonymous to a college degree, and telling you that, you know, everybody else is crazy, lame, queer, bad, so on and so forth. I think it'd be a really good thing for you to start exploring belief sets that are alternative to those that were imprinted onto you by your parents. And
Okay.
maybe like here's a really good example. Like you told us that your parents think it's like wrong to be lesbian, right?
Yes. My mom has kind of, I guess, changed her mind, but every time that I try to convince her that, you know, maybe you're wrong, because I have queer friends that have kind of tried to open my eyes, but every time that I get her there, my dad kind of brings her back and is like, no, it's wrong. So he is kind of like the main enforcer, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, but you don't think that being lesbian is wrong, right?
No, not immediately, no.
No. So, I mean, that's like a very, very like, really, really like unintelligent thing to think. It's really unintelligent to think that being lesbian is wrong. You know, there's no good reason to think that it's wrong to be lesbian, especially if you believe in God. You know, like we know that being lesbian, being gay, our sexual attractions are kind of hard coded into us. I mean, there's like biological underlying predispositions towards like particular sexual orientations. Like for gay men, they have an association in the XQ23 chromosome that straight men don't, They also have like a larger interior commissure in their neuroanatomy on average compared to straight men. So we know it's kind of like biologically hard coded into us. And if God creates us, if God creates our biology, then that means that God also creates our sexual orientations. And because you believe in God and you think he's perfect, that means that you think that God perfectly created your sexual orientation. So how could anybody argue otherwise? You know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
your mom and your dad are confused on that, it's also likely that they're confused on many other things too, right? I think that kind of opens the door to internal questions that you may have surrounding, are they right when they tell me that these traditional values are perfect? Are they right when they tell me that, institutional education is, deceitful and of the devil? Are they right when they tell me that, I need to be educated by them too, even though they're not accredited and obviously believe in a lot of things that are false? And
Yeah.
maybe that's like a good opportunity to start exploring like other train of thought. I mean, I really hope that you're not like messing with me. You're not trolling.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I maybe I should have mentioned my dad is atheist, but like he wants me to be Christian, like my mom, for some reason. I've tried asking him about it, and he said that it's basically just because Christians tend to behave more. They don't tend to act out more. They don't tend to fall into any of this propaganda online.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna leave you this. I think it'd be very beneficial for you to get out of that house, right? Which is like a scary thought to an 18-year-old. I remember being 18, and well, actually, I left my parents' house when I was 17. I was forced to. When I graduated high school, I was 17, and the day after I graduated high school, my dad turned around and sold the house and moved. So I was forcefully kind of kicked out there and left couch surfing for that summer. And that was a terrifying experience, right? Being 17, being 18, you don't really have a good idea of what your future looks like. It's really hard to like make enough money to, keep a roof over your head, pay the utilities, buy food, so on and so forth. And
that's what one of my friends said.
Yeah, there's been like a level of dependence that you've had, so far in your life to depend on like your parents for providing these things. And it's kind of hard to start depending on yourself. But I'm just going to be honest, if like I was in your shoes, I would like really start thinking about like viable ways forward to ultimately forego that dependence so you could reclaim your independence and start developing your own life, kind of a little bit of away from them. But obviously that's not going to be, like a flip of a switch. That's not going to be something that happens overnight. And it's, probably going to take a while. But if I was in your shoes, I would start developing and gearing my mindset around achieving that goal.
Thank you. Like, I've tried looking at a car because my friend said that was a more viable option because it's cheaper and I could convert that to like a little space if I needed just to get out of my house sometimes. And I showed that car to my dad, and then the next day, like, I couldn't find it. Like, my account just wasn't working on Cars Gurus, so I don't really know what was happening. I thought maybe he did something, but maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's like, keep in mind, this is all my perspective. Living in your car, that's like an immediate way to get out of the house. Like if you're in danger and that's viable, it's there. That's an option. But like simultaneously, it's also maybe you'd probably have a higher quality of life if you didn't like move into a car, but rather, started like focusing on other viable potential futures of finding a way to generate, a large enough income to live in a place of your own. And honestly, for most Americans in this economy, that would include living with a couple of roommates, honestly,
Okay.
Right. So maybe if you have any other friends, you have any other friends that are also, like your same age, looking to kind of move on to the next stage of life, looking to live with a couple of roommates, that's always a viable option. College is there too, but I mean, that's also the incurring of debt. But, that's college is a really good option if, you want to work on a degree that has, like higher income potentialities future in life, because although you'd be accruing the debt by going to college now over the life expectancy of your own, you would kind of make that money back because you'd have higher wages on average. Like college is like a really good stepping stone that helps people move out, and it really helped me. I wasn't really like ready for all like total and full independence, like what I have right now being thrown at me all at once when I was like 17 and 18, and like freshman year, sophomore year of college, being able to, you know, live in a dorm, get to meet people. It's a really good opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, please do. Well, yeah, you have a good rest of your day, and
You too.
definitely start directing your mindset around that. I promise it'll make your life about a billion times better.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Best of luck. Seriously, best of luck.